Third phase.
All right, Blake Cousins here at Third Phase Moon. I think it's all checked out. We're going to go. Third Phase Moon's back online. It's 12/18/2015, December 18, 2015. We just got back from Star Wars The Force Awakens. Things went down, big things. And you know what? I'm going to tell you everything right now. Only kidding. Don't panic, people. We're not going to give everything away. But no spoilers, but The Force has a twist. And, you know, sometimes it's not all good. And this is the good, the bad, and what's going around the universe, possibly. People say the alien visitation right now happening on planet Earth. There's good ones, there's bad ones out there. We've got, I think, Anonymous back again. You guys remember Anonymous, right? He's the guy that talks about microwave blast. Well, there was a kind of a response on the last video that we posted, the interview we did about a month and a half ago. So, you know what, guys? We're going to get Anonymous back. I got some questions for him, too. I think we got F1 abductee with us as well that could also maybe cross-question Anonymous as well. But we're also going to get to some new sightings that have come in just today. I got a call right as I got back from Star Wars The Force Awakens just a couple hours ago. I had Brian Sterling call me up because I contacted him after he submitted this video that we're about to share right now, Third Phase of Moon. So let's start off with Brian Sterling, and then we're going to get to callers who also, if you have a UFO sighting, have you been abducted by UFOs? Have you been in close encounters with aliens? Well, now's the time to call in. Third Phase of Moon, 347-934-0378. We will be getting to you. So let's get to Anonymous. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, Anonymous, welcome back to Third Phase.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me back on. May I speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Just say.
Yeah,
remember,
what I want to talk about, and what nobody seems to be talking about, is that all of these ET groups right now are organizing meetings with the elite, with celebrities, and with elite athletes and the very wealthy right now, and they're having ongoing trips up to the ships. And the reason this is happening is because the Draco reptilians are in charge of what is going to occur, and the elite represent the caste system that the Draco set up. And what is happening is so sick and twisted that it needs to be said again. Innocent men, women, and children are being tortured and killed. These people are called targeted individuals, and most of them are being killed by ETs using ET technology. And this is because these ETs want to remove people who can see through this deception or who have the potential to do so. And all of these ETs are doing this as a coordinated attack to kill innocent men, women, and children. And what they're doing is they're having ongoing parties up on these ships. Believe it or not, this is happening right now with actors and the wealthy elite, and they're drinking champagne and having ongoing sex parties and watching movie clips and watching clips of the violence that's occurring down here before they show up. And what their line is going to be is that we don't need to be forgiven. And they will attempt to bribe very naive and stupid people. And unfortunately, there's far too many of them. They'll attempt to bribe them with gifts of technology, with gifts of synthetic cloned humans for the purposes of sex, and et cetera, et cetera. And this will be an attempt to misdirect people from the fact that they have all been killing innocent men, women, and children all along. And what will happen is they will attempt to manipulate the public into believing that this second invasion of reptilian-type ETs is not their doing, when in fact all of these ETs, all of them all together, have coordinated this all together. And it is actually a controlled demolition of the planet, because their intention is to turn the earth rotten. Homo sapien means earth rotten. And basically we're looking at the most evil and sadistic plot against the human race that we have ever faced. They will have technology that allows them to run at very high speeds. They'll have a projection, energy weapon projection, and this is all. It uses human willpower to operate these ET technologies. So it uses the bioelectric field energy of the human body. So I needed to phone in here, and this needs to be said now so people can listen to this in hindsight and say, well, geez, why didn't we listen to this guy when he said this in the first place?
Okay. That's fair enough. Right there, you heard it from Anonymous. Now we got some questions for him. And, those are some big statements. And basically, my first question is, could you give some names of these celebrities that are...
Celebrities? Okay, yeah, I went over that a bit last time. Some of their last names, these families were picked because, you see, these ETs just do things like as a lark. It's all sort of just like a game to them, a sadistic game. So names like Nicole Kidman means the Kid Man. That family was purposely picked, and her genes are slightly altered with gray ET genetics, although medical testing may not even show it, but they are. Kevin Spacey is another last name purposely chosen because of, obviously alludes to outer space. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. And there's others as well, like Taylor Swift, because these ETs value speed. So when they come down here, you'll see them running around like total maniacs at Mach speeds with their technology. And the list goes on and on and on. A lot of their last names allude to what they are.
I kind of see where you're going with that. Also, I'm going to talk about preparedness for what you're saying is that they're going to take us out, and we're basically not going to exist or be around much longer unless we do something about it. But before we get to that, how do you know all this? I know you want to remain anonymous, but are you, where do you work? What kind of work do you do?
Well, I prefer not to really get into that because I prefer to remain anonymous, but I have my own contacts. They're very reliable. They're 100% reliable. I've had my own personal experiences, and this is 100% the truth, and it will be verifiable in hindsight. So I'm telling you now to prepare for the biggest manipulation tactic you've ever seen in your life when this happens, because they are going to totally...
Who are some of your sources, Anonymous? I know you want to remain anonymous, but are they military ranking? Are they officials?
Yep.
Are they politicians?
Yep. Well, you can look up a man named Michael Mencken. He's ex-military, and he, for one, knows for a fact that these ETs are targeting and torturing children and are causing illnesses like autism. And these ETs are absolutely ruthless, and they have destroyed entire worlds in the pursuit of consuming life force. And like I said, yeah.
Let me bring in another caller. F1's been abducted. He's been taken aboard, been discharged from the military for some of the things he said in regards to the UFO phenomenon. F1, welcome to the show. Do you have a question for Anonymous? I'm sure you've heard him over the years as he's called in and warned us about this.
Well, I will in a second, but this is, man, you know how I roll. If I had not heard this conversation right now, the first thing, if you got to me first and you asked me what was going on lately, it's not really scary anymore because it just happens. The older I get, it's like it just so you get. Unfortunately, no matter how gnarly it is, you get really comfortable with the fact that you receive information, and very few people can confirm or even put a yes or a no on whether or not what I was feeling. This is what I was going to tell you if you asked me. I was going to tell you that in the last couple of weeks, 10 days, that I believe a massive organization is going on between different types of extra-dimensional alien and extra-dimensional, and the government, and they're all having a big meeting. And I mean, about 10 days ago, I had really just these feelings like, wow, am I supposed to be doing something? There's a horrible thing that I'm supposed to be paying attention to something, but I don't know what it is. And what Anonymous just said is exactly hitting on what I was thinking, because I do see everything every night, every day, and it's like I knew for 78-80%, maybe a little more, but I always try to leave a little room for confirmation. That's exactly what I felt was going on for at least the last 10 days to 2 weeks, that there was a group effort, and that they are regrouping and also discussing, I believe, and this is just my belief, I believe that there were several missiles launched and they were taken over and they were put into a display state and then dispersed with. So I think that they had to regroup to find also a different approach on how to, I know you know, and you know I know, and I know you know, so I'm going to do this. And I believe that they were regrouping, not only them, but our governments and the elite. I think they're kind of stumped, though, on a couple of things. And, you know, I know Anonymous comes across as kind of like, it sounds so negative to people, but you know what? The positive's beautiful, and that's great. But the things you really need to pay attention to are the immediate threats. How do you prepare yourself? With knowledge, so that you are not taken off of guard. Do we have anything that, like their weapons? No, but there are certain types of aliens and certain levels in a game of chess that you can, they will die. They will die from fire.
There'll be a war, fire and brimstone coming down. You know, I wanted to ask Anonymous, speaking of how we're going to protect ourselves, and you're giving us these warnings, and maybe I'm thinking, you know, if an asteroid was going to come and take us all out, our governments wouldn't tell us because there's really nothing they could do about it, so they would keep us in the dark. You're trying to shed light on something that's going to go down big, an event as big as this catastrophe. If an asteroid were to impact on planet Earth, what are we going to do about it? How can we stop this?
Right. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. There'll be some sort of major disaster, like an asteroid or a meteor strike, or it could even be a crashed UFO, or it could be something like a missile strike. But it'll most likely be a major asteroid or meteor strike before or after these human-looking ETs show up and attempt to manipulate all the very naive people who are unfortunately around. But there is some reason for some small sliver of optimism, because believe it or not, these ETs, all of these human-looking ETs, are the biggest cowards that you've ever seen in your life, and they realize that the human spirit, that we, the human race, our spirit, has a natural warrior component to it. We're a natural warrior race, and our spirits are some of the strongest spirits anywhere, like maybe even in the universe. So what will happen is that some people down here will have the opportunity to utilize some of this ET technology to defend our planet, but what's happened is so sadistic to the human race that all of these ETs should be considered the total enemies of the human race. So when these individuals, these people on Earth, get this technology to run at very high speeds, to project force fields, to blast energy projection weapons using their willpower or bioelectric field energy, they should use this technology to fight and kill all of these ET groups, because they are all a threat to our planet. They all want a piece of the pie, and they want to turn the Earth rotten. That's what Homo sapien means, Earth rotten. So these ETs, like I've said before, they are demonic. But there is a reason for optimism because of how strong the human spirit is.
And something just happened, but I'm not exactly sure what went down. But we're going to tell you what, we're going to fix things up here at Third Phase Moon. We're going to go to break. We're going to take callers from around the world in regards to the UFO phenomenon happening right now, and maybe get some more information from Anonymous in regards to what we need to do in case something big, I mean big, goes down. This is Blake Cousins' Third Phase of Moon. We'll be right back. If you want to give the gift that keeps on giving, you're hearing it right now. Paul Barrett's Third Phase of Moon album, I think pretty much rocks in regards to the music you want to hear while you're watching Third Phase of Moon music or driving down the streets. It's available on iTunes. The link's below. K5, Paul Barrett's themes, pretty nuts. Third Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins here, taking calls from around the world in regards to the UFO phenomenon happening right now. We got a lot of callers in, so we'll try to get to them all. We also have Anonymous with us. If you got questions for him, by all means, we'll bring him up. Let's get to it. 858, you're live, Third Phase. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Blake?
Hey, going on pretty good. Star Wars Force Awakens, did you see it yet?
I haven't got a chance to get there yet, but definitely looking forward to it.
All right, man. Hey, where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hey, it's Eric again from San Diego, the guy who's seen the so-called missile that was launched over the ocean. Was just tuning in tonight, Blake.
Oh, no problem. Did you get to hear what Anonymous
J1 and Anonymous, J1 and Anonymous had said some good things. I was tuning in to what they were saying. And, you know, it sounds totally bizarre to the average person, you know, the average American, but what they're saying does make a lot of sense. Whether or not we know every race is hostile, you know, that's kind of still up in the air, but however, the reptilians, like Anonymous said, I believe are hostile. The Greys, they're probably more neutral. But my point is these things are happening, and the UFOs, what Bonnie's seen in Arizona, what Young Trillion's seen in Florida, what I've seen here in San Diego, these things are not happening for no reason. And I don't know if you remember, Blake, I was actually in the National Guard as a soldier. So, you know, I'm pretty squared away. I know, I know what I'm looking at when I see a missile.
This Bonnie's video that was captured, you know, that was, some people are saying it's from Bonnie. She goes by the Savvy Psychic Medium UFO channel. I always like giving credit and links to the people that share this video, their videos. In this video, some people are saying that it could be some kind of flare drop. Have you ever seen any kind of military flares that do this?
No, I've never seen any kind of flare that dissipated into two separate chemtrails and has a blinking light in front of it that has an additional pulsating, you know, almost like what I've seen here, like a time warp type opening, you know, wormhole to another dimension, sort of.
You know, things are going down, and
things are going down, and it's just, you know, and I even had seen another craft in the air the other night, Blake, and this thing was just cloaked, but it was just no lights, no sound, and was moving ultra fast, so fast that I didn't have enough time to even get my camera out. But you know, eyes are still staying in the skies.
Nice.
And I was just tuning in to the STS-107. You know, the Columbia disaster. I was just watching some videos on that, and I just want to just say, you know, may God be with the souls of those astronauts, and I think there's something going on behind closed doors that really knows what happened on February 1st, 2003. And I also think that I also was reviewing some of the footage. There is no NASA logo on what appears to be the left side of the shuttle, and that was kind of strange. Because if you actually see photos of the shuttle itself landing at Kennedy Space Center, you'll see the NASA logo. But in the pictures, obviously the shuttle was demolished, but still, it's just the part that the logo was on should have still been intact. Still it should have still been in view. So that's pretty much,
Yeah, you know what? There was some strange circumstance behind that situation on the Columbia shuttle disaster. And there's a video up on YouTube. You might want to take a look. It's a 14-minute uncut clip of Columbia's last moments. And it goes all the way till just about 30 seconds of their last day. And it was a strange deal. They went to manual control. Why would the pilot switch to manual when it was already programmed in? That was the word of still. Anyway, let's get to some other callers. Thanks, Eric, for calling in. Yes, keep listening.
Third phase of the moon.
We're going to get Anonymous back. I got some questions for him, too. I think we got F1 abductee with us as well that could also maybe cross-question Anonymous as well. But we're also going to get to some new sightings that have come in just today. I got a call right as I got back from Star Wars The Force Awakens just a couple hours ago. I had Brian Sterling call me up because I contacted him after he submitted this video that we're about to share right now, Third Phase of the Moon. So let's start off with Brian Sterling, and then we're going to get to callers who also, if you have a UFO sighting, have you been abducted by UFOs? Have you been in close encounters with aliens? Well, now's the time to call in. Third Phase of the Moon, 347-934-0378. We will be getting to you. So let's get to Anonymous. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, Anonymous, welcome back to Third Phase.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me back on. May I speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt.
Third phase.
All right, Blake Cousins here at Third Phase Moon. I think it's all checked out. We're going to go. Third Phase Moon's back online. It's 12/18/2015, December 18th, 2015. We just got back from Star Wars The Force Awakens. Things went down, big things. And you know what? I'm going to tell you everything right now. Only kidding. Don't panic, people. We're not going to give everything away. But no spoilers. But the Force has a twist. Remember, we always talk about.
Yeah, what I want to talk about, and what nobody seems to be talking about, is that all of these ET groups right now are organizing meetings with the elite, with celebrities, and with elite athletes and the very wealthy right now, and they're having ongoing trips up to the ships. And the reason this is happening is because the Draco reptilians are in charge of what is going to
twist. And, sometimes it's not all good. And this is the good, the bad, and what's going around the universe, possibly. People say the alien visitation right now happening on planet Earth. There's good ones, there's bad ones out there. We've got, I think, Anonymous back again. You guys remember Anonymous, right? He's the guy that talks about microwave blast. Well, there was a kind of a response on the last video that we posted, the interview we did about a month and a half ago. So, you know what, guys?